We've been strong for so long. Now it's time to rise. No more dimming our light. Let it shine so bright. Breaking chains, breaking downs. We reclaim our crown. Standing tall. Here is rowing.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome, Facebook family. Welcome, YouTube family. Welcome to another edition of the S.I.T podcast with your girl, Sabrina. Today we have our host with us, Natasha McCartney, our licensed psychotherapist. She is going to bring some realness to our questions, comments, and concerns. And dun da da dum. Now, I did some searching, because we were looking for the missing link. Guess what, y'all? I found the golden link. Michelle is back. Not the pom pom. Not the pom. Michelle is back. Michelle is back, y'all.
Hey, y'all. Hey, Natasha.
Michelle is back.
Hey, welcome back, Sistah.
Thanks. I'm so excited. Look, did you want to see my little text that I have here? Look, what does it say?
Aw, so excited.
So excited.
And so are we.
Welcome back.
We are excited also.
Thank you.
We are happy to have you back. We've covered so many topics while you were gone.
I know, but before we get started, I think I need an applause.
Yeah. Even if you give them to yourself, you better go ahead. You better go ahead.
No, I'm very, very excited to be back. And I just want to thank you guys. I know I was going to give like this big thank you speech, but I'm so not prepared as usual.
She said as usual, Tasha.
As usual. But anyway, I'm here. So I'm so thankful for Sabrina. She is the queen boss. And she holds it down, okay?
Aww.
So I'm so thankful. I'm thankful for her agreeing to let me have this moment of me time.
Yep.
Which I ventured out for my journey for mental health awareness, and you guys did an awesome job covering that.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. Unfortunately, I only had one day.
What does that mean?
May 2nd. May 1st, because May 2nd, my mom went to the hospital.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really, she's good.
Yeah.
My mom's the bounce back queen. So you queen boss, she bounced back. And so I'm just thankful to be here. So everything is good. And so now I'm going to start my journey, a 90-day journey.
And what does that mean?
That means my friend Chris, you know Kristen Fields?
Yeah.
Well, she has a new book. It's called The Habit Building Journal, 90-Day Self-Guided Transformation.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got it from Amazon. So
yes,
shout out to Chris.
Order mine today. Hi, Chris. I'm getting that journal.
Yeah, so I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to focus on myself, you know.
But you coming back to the podcast, right?
I'm here, girl.
Okay.
Look, I'm in the building.
Okay, so
we need a bomb.
I'm going to ask you this question, and then I'm going to jump to Natasha.
Okay, go ahead. And I got this today. I don't have my pencils or pens, but I have my wand.
Yeah, I like the wand.
Okay.
I like the wand.
So in case I need to say something, I get excited.
So you've gotten your month off to do your R&R. I guess I can take off next month, right?
Nope.
Tasha, we're going to switch it over to you. Welcome back with us, Natasha. How are you feeling? Give us some encouraging words today.
I'm feeling marvelous today, and welcome back, Michelle. We missed you. We're happy to have you back. And today is going to be an amazing show. It's going to, while you were gone, we did do the Mental Health Awareness Month, and we talk really deep about hoping giving people enough information that they can start their journey. And here you come back introducing this book, so maybe people would buy that book. And today we're going to have a little bit of fun and talk about probably what everybody's been waiting to hear about, because we know everybody want to be in a loving, nurturing, committed relationship. So that's today's topic.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How do we date setting the frame before the flame? Woo! Come on, somebody.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. So, Tasha, that's always a good subject, right? Because like you said, people want to know how to date, right? For several reasons. How do we find the right partner? How do we stay in a committed relationship? And so we're going to jump into some of those questions tonight. For the audience, hi Facebook family, hi YouTube family. How are you all doing? I'm happy to have you back. Hey Chris, we just talked about your journal and Michelle got hers already. Mine's is coming soon. And we look forward to starting the 90-day journey with you. So our first topic tonight is, before I go there though, I want you, if you enjoy the show, please share it with your friends. Tell them to join us tonight. We are on every Monday from 7 to 8, but join us tonight. So you want to share, you want to click, and you want to subscribe if you are on YouTube. All right. So our topic tonight is, how do we date? How do we date? So, Tasha.
Yes, my love.
So let me ask you this first, because this was really, how do people date? Like, and what I mean by that, some people date for different reasons, right?
Right.
Some people date intentionally. Some people date casually. Some people date spiritually. How do we date?
Yeah. Well, do you know you have to develop your own kind of dating framework, right? And you have to go into it. But what I find is that people date, the trouble that they have with dating is they date the same way they dated in the past. And one of the challenging things that I hear a lot about is people take poisonous lessons from previous dating into the new dating process instead of taking positive lessons. Because everything you do in life, there has to be something good that comes out of it. And so I think people tend to date from what has gone wrong than what has gone right. So I hope tonight what we share with them can shift the framework and perspective for people to begin to date from a strength perspective, because you, no matter how bad a relationship has been or how you feel it's been, because you leave it feeling like it's been bad, you want to take the good out of it and take that with you and leave the bad in the past. But that then will require you to look at yourself in that pattern. And people don't want to look at themselves in the pattern, right? So you got to change some of your habits as well.
Right. So when I think about why people date, one of the reasons is to find a love or a life partner, right? They're looking for a committed long-term relationship that could lead to marriage or a partnership. Would you say that that person doing that should be or is emotionally available and ready for love, if that's what they're looking for?
Absolutely, absolutely. But they also need to understand the commitment that requires, right? Because it doesn't require you just going out and finding someone who could say they want to be committed to. It's a lot of that is action. And if you go out and that's your intention on dating, you still have to kind of pause for a minute, because there are stages to dating. So if that's the ultimate goal, you eventually get there. But when you look at the stages of dating, and there's tons of information out there around stages of dating. I usually think about the initiation stage or the honeymoon stage. Then you go to exploring each other. That's when you kind of learn what you like, what you don't like. Then you begin to deepen the relationship, right? Maybe introduce them to your friends, your family members, let everybody else get a framework or feel about the person you date in. And then after that, you decide if you want to commit. So you don't commit up front just because you're looking for a commitment.
Right.
Does that answer your question? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but I think, and I just want to drill back a little bit. So if I'm dating, and I'm not saying that the guy that I'm going on a date with is necessarily the one. If I'm dating, though, with intentions that I want to be married in the future, does that necessarily mean, well, I already know the answer to that, but I'm going to let you answer it. Does it necessarily mean, because I know that's what I want, I'm ready for that?
What do you mean,
does that
marriage?
make sense? No.
Oh, just the dating.
Let me put it a
rephrase
different way.
Okay, put it in a different way.
I know without a shadow of a doubt that when I go out to date, I'm dating with intentions. I'm not going to date because I want a one-night stand. I'm not going to date because I want a situationship. I want to go on dates because I want a marriage. I'm just using that for an example. I'm not saying I am or ain't. Does that necessarily mean that that person who has that intention are they
Is ready for
is
that.
ready for that? Does that
No, it does
necessarily
not.
right?
That's the right.
That's where
So
I was
I
going
did
with
that.
it.
I didn't right. So I didn't answer the question directly, but I gave a thought process for people to think about, right? Because
Right.
even if that's what you want, you got to pull yourself back and go through the stages. The stages are just a framework so that you can actually see if you are ready for that level of commitment. Does that make
Yes.
sense? So,
Yes.
I know most people have been told at some point in their life that just because you want it don't mean you can have it
That's
or
right.
you're ready for it.
And
So
that's
that's why I kind of talked about the stages of it, because the ideal is if you go through each stage, and they are fluid, they're not linear, but if you go through these stages, you will actually find out if you're ready for it or not.
right. And
So
that's where I was going. That's where I was going with it because there are many people out there that are dating with the intentions of being married, but just because they're dating and they have those intentions doesn't necessarily mean that they're ready for that. I guess that's where I was just trying to,
Right.
get to.
Right.
Go ahead, Michelle. What were you going to
Right.
say?
no, I was just thinking, do you ultimately, so if you find somebody, what if you guys are in different stages? Like it still may be your person, but you might be in different stages. Could that happen?
Right. So what you mean by that, Michelle? Like
Like
maybe
maybe
you
one
just kind of being
person, like
casual.
they want to do casual and eventually get married, but
Right.
maybe still see what else is out there or something. I don't know.
No, that's a
It's a
good
good
question,
question. It
Michelle.
is.
That's a
It
good
is.
question.
Yeah, and I was just gonna say that when you're dating, there's no commitment, right? So you're not committed to one person until you guys make that official, right? So
Right.
there's no reason, like if I'm in my dating stage, that I can't date this guy today, and maybe obviously there's no intimacy.
Okay,
but I
well,
may
y'all
wanna-
gonna laugh at this now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Now I've been married to my husband forever.
If you
We're
say
gonna
you
be
wanna
coming up for
date,
30 years.
Girl,
No,
I'm moving over.
I'm just saying,
Oh,
like
okay.
people aren't asking you want to be my boyfriend or girlfriend. Like at what point, like what are they saying that make you say
Oh, I
you just
got
say,
you.
oh, we're just with each other and that's it. We're not dating other people.
Well, you can't assume, right? So it's my
like what if
whole-
I wanna, like if I wasn't married or whatever, and I just wanted to date other people and I don't really want to commit
I'm
to
gonna
one
move
person.
away from this mic because if she say that one more time, her man is
Well,
not coming.
look,
No, I'm
she's
just kidding.
asking a great.
No, it is a
she's
good
actually
question.
asking
No,
a
I
great
just
question.
no.
But I
It
mean,
is
I
a
mean,
great
You know why I
question.
like it, Michelle? Because you know why I like that question because you're right. So there are people who have been in long-term relationships, right? And they haven't been dating in some time.
Right.
So that question is really good because it speaks to those people who are trying to get back out there.
Right.
And people who have been dating.
Yeah.
What do you do? Like, what does that look like?
Natasha.
I think people should explore their options. I think you need to be honest, but you know what in that question in the dating process will really let you know something about the emotional maturity of the person that you have to pose that question to, right? Because if everyone is out there dating and you meet someone and that person is saying yes, I want to be married, like Sabrina proposed, and I'm out here for long-term commitment, I'm dating to get long-term commitment, that don't mean that person is the one. And at
Right.
some point you got to have that conversation with each other. Well, I'm dating for long-term commitment too, but I don't know you, I don't know your credit score, I don't know if
Exactly.
you got a mental illness, I don't know if you got a medical illness, I don't know if you're the one I want to commit to. So I think two mature adults will understand that you can date with intentions and still be multiply dating other people.
Right. Right. Right.
And that's a mature conversation to have.
Right.
Because unless you
I
just
mean, at what
unless
point do you have the conversation? Do you have it on day one, or do you have it like you see him a little bit?
I think within the first 4 weeks, if you're gonna see the person
Right.
on the
If you're gonna
average
see
of
them more
once or
than
twice a
once.
week, you should
Okay.
have that conversation.
Right. And I think that's what we have to get comfortable with, like having these conversations. I think this is where we get stuck, right? Because we don't ask the most critical questions that we need to ask in the beginning, and we don't find out until we engage or we married. Now it's a problem.
Okay.
But we got to start having these. We got to talk
So that
about
brings
finance.
me to the point about marriage. Like some women, not all women, not I can't speak for everybody, but they just think about that day, like the
Right.
big, wedding, the
Ruminate
dress.
like, oh my God, I'm getting married. He's the one. No.
Right. Like I don't think some people, not all people, think about, well, what does that look like after, the wedding? Like what are we doing? Like some people say, okay, marry, have kids. Okay, now what?
Right. Well,
Well, you're right, Michelle.
Yeah.
You're right, because then that's what you should be exploring through the dating process, right?
Right.
Because so
Your
if you go into the
long-term
dating
goals.
process, right? If you
Not
go
your
into the
90-day
dating
goals.
process,
No.
Right, right. And if you go into the dating process with the ideal that the whole purpose of dating is to have a marriage, that's a wrong type of thought process.
Right.
Right. And
Because
I think
Exactly.
been
some
married
people
just
get
as long
stuck
as you,
there.
Michelle.
Yeah, I
And
think some people get
I'm
stuck there.
married. Marriage is our business that
Right.
between me and my husband. But we are long-term committed partners.
Right.
Right.
'Cause if we weren't long-term committed partners, this business could have ended a long time ago.
Right.
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 Right. Right.
So I think people need to understand that the marriage is the business of the relationship, but really when you're in that relationship and who you picking as your partner, is that somebody who you can be with long term and be committed? Do your futures align? Do your goals align? Do you think right the same way about money? Or if you don't, can you negotiate how your partner thinks about money and how you think about money and find yourself someplace in the middle? Do you
Right.
think the same around child rearing? You know,
Right.
how do you want to parent your children? Are you willing to open up and recognize that you may be bringing in some toxic behaviors from your family of origin? Are you
Right.
willing to change that? Because the two people may come from two different types of families of origin, different cultures, different religions. You got to look at all of these things for a successful, long term committed partnership.
Right.
Right. And what I recommend for Sabrina
What the world?
is to have couples therapy. And this way they
Who,
can
who
get
am I having it with? You know.
Well, you know, let's
You know
be
that
a little
long list
controversial
of men you
here.
got? No, I'm just
I'm like, wait,
But
what?
you know, Michelle, we
not,
could be
not
a little
Sabrina.
bit
I'm just
controversial.
teasing my baby girl. No,
Yeah, we could
I'm
be a
just
little
talking in general.
controversial about that
Okay.
because you know some people think that if you got to go into some type of couples therapy before marriage, should you even be thinking that's your partner for marriage? That's a very controversial question.
No, I think
Well,
it should work
Tasha,
out the kinks.
but you know what,
Or,
Tasha?
make sure we put everything on the
And in
table.
religion, you know, pastors recommend that you do the counseling.
Yes, I know, but I'm still telling y'all it's very controversial. I
Yeah.
hear it all the time because you know you do have pastoral counseling, premarital counseling,
Right.
postmarital counseling.
I
You
think
know,
that's
and
important.
yeah, I think it's important. I think if you are learning to love someone, especially if you know you've been out there for a while and you haven't been able to find your one, or you think you may have missed the opportunity, because some of us look back and be like, "Oh boy, we missed that opportunity. We was
Right.
not right." But at that time, I do think it's worth going into therapy and working things out. I think people who do that should also have individual therapy because you learn a lot about yourself inside a relationship. So
Yes.
it goes hand in hand. But there's a whole school of thinking out there that people think if you have to do that before you get to dating or a committed relationship, then maybe there's other problems. And I don't know about that. I stand on the side that if you can get to therapy and work on yourself, you bring a better self to a
Yeah.
relationship,
and
that
you
means the
and you make a
relationship
better
will be
choice, and
Right,
you
I
make a
think-
better
I think
choice.
Yes,
that's a good thing.
absolutely.
But you know, I want to go back to something Michelle said because you said something so pivotal. You know, like how do you know? So when you're dating, I think it's important to know you first, right? You got to know what your core values are. You got to know what your principles are.
Is that my pen?
No, that to me is the roadmap. At least knowing who you are and what you want, right? I think, and the other thing is, Shantae made a good point too. She said sometimes the problem is people change what they want. What one
that's a
wants
good
today
point.
may change in the future.
That's true. People
Well,
change.
you know,
They
I
grow.
was actually
That's
thinking
true.
about
That's
that,
true. That's a
Shantae,
good
as you were
Shantae.
talking,
That's
and
a
that's
good
why I
one.
said it's important to have these conversations.
Yeah.
So, speaking to someone who's been with her man since she was 20, of course, what I wanted in my 20s is not what I wanted in my 30s, is not what I wanted in my 40s, and damn sure not what I want now in my 50s.
Right.
However, being long-term committed partners, when we were changing, we were growing together and we were having those discussions. And good.
That's
I'm not
important.
sitting here acting like everything was perfect. Some of those discussions had high tones, had arguments, maybe not a discussion for a couple of days. Some of it had some counseling into it.
Right.
However, if you are committed and you know that's your partner, you tend to grow together and work through it. And I think that is important. And if you recognize that you are in a relationship and you're changing and your partner's not changing, or maybe you see your partner changing and you're not changing, that's a pivotal moment that y'all should have discussions, because there's some transition happening. And if we're not discussing that in our relationships, we ideally would probably go opposite ways.
And truthfully, we aren't the same people because, especially, well, everybody, but women, we go through menopause, we go through childbearing. But, Tasha, the funny thing is that, especially women, we've been so this dream, right? And you and I talked about this before. Prince Charming is coming on a white horse, and it's romantic.
With the red roses.
He's on red roses, and life is just happy, and we know that's unrealistic. But you said that you become life partners, right? And so my question to you is, what is the difference? Hey, Sean, what is the difference between strictly saying spouses or marriages and life partners? I need you to tell the audience what that difference is, and to let women know there is going to be some changes in ups and downs and some dissension in the marriage. It's not going to always, like you said, be a straight path, as we know life is not. What is spouse, marriage, and partnership, and how do they tie in together to create a successful marriage?
Right. So, like I said, I believe that the marriage part of it is the business part of the commitment, the thing that bring you together, the thing that on paper that's why you have to go to a court and you got to get it signed off, and it becomes
That's a contract.
binding
That's a contract.
Contract, like a birth certificate and a death certificate. You have a marriage license, right?
Right.
So it's really just also to document legacy and families. There's a whole lot of business around that. So anybody could be your spouse,
Right.
right? And the ideal is that the person you marry, you want to shift that from it just being a spouse, because y'all get to that day, y'all have this big wonderful party, get all these gifts, everyone's celebrating around you, to be like, we are lifelong partners. I was reading something one day. When I wake up, I look at the news, and if I am not mistaken, I should have probably did my homework, but I didn't know we was going this way. I believe that
Join the club.
right. But I think I am right. I believe that Omar Epps is married to one of the young ladies from Total.
Yes.
And they were recently on, maybe he was, or both of them was on, I think, one of these talk shows, Cameron Hall.
Okay.
And they talked about what made their marriage, and they're young people. They've been together for a very long time, so they probably got together in their early 20s, maybe even their 30s. Because they're young people, maybe they're in their 40s to 50s, but they've been together over 20 something out there years. So they've been together most of their young adult life. And what he spoke about is that they were married, and I am paraphrasing this, so Omar Epps, if you're listening, please don't shoot me. Just come out and correct me if I'm wrong, right? So I think what he spoke about is, as they were learning and growing in their marriage, they sat down and had a discussion that it's not an option for us not to be married. So what we going to do about this? And that's where it shifts from them being a wife and a husband to being partners, long-term committed partners.
Right.
Because when you make that commitment and you have that conversation, that means your actions, your behaviors, your standards are going to be aligned to that commitment.
Right.
And obviously, they both, after being married all this long time, has stayed true to that commitment.
Right.
Now, I'm
I
not
love
saying
that.
everybody can make a commitment and it don't change, but that's one example. And the only reason I really remembered that, because that's what me and my husband did. We got together young. We didn't have no role models about who to be married. Not to put his family business out there, but most of the women in his family were divorced. Though not to put my family business out there, but most of the women in my family, at least on my side, they had a man that was taking care of stepkids, and it ended terribly.
Right.
So, we was like, we ain't gonna be like that. We want to be together. We love each other. We love each other company. We're happy with each other. You make me laugh. I make you laugh. We gonna have these beautiful kids together. We love our children. So we have to stay committed to our partnership by coming to the table and being honest, compassionate, treating people with kindness, treating people with love. And that is something that, I think you had brought to our attention, Sabrina, to discuss tonight. It's like, when we talk about what are our standards and what are our values, do our behavior even line up with it, right?
And
So when
that
I
just-
use the word love and commitment and compassion,
I love that.
I don't think my husband's ever used a curse word towards me. Now, I may have cursed at him, because I do have a potty mouth.
got a
And
potty
you guys be surprised, but I've never cursed him out, right?
Right.
So I may say, what the blink, blink, blink are you doing right now? And he'll look at me like, really? And then I'm like, okay, what are you doing right now? But he's never used that language to me, because we've committed to treat each other with kindness, respect, and how we would treat our friends. You don't go outside cursing at your friends or your coworkers, so why you come home cursing at your husband?
Right.
So that's what I think the difference between having a spouse, because you can have somebody that's paying the bills, having sex with you, having kids with you, maybe y'all go on dates every once in a while. But what does that relationship really, when y'all are relating to one another, look like?
Hi, Janine. Janine, we're going to get you on here because you and Graham going to tell us. We're going to talk to the couples at the end of the month. Yeah, so that's some good stuff. Michelle, what you want to say?
I was just thinking, like, if you don't sit down, maybe, I mean, Natasha's the expert, maybe that's when people start cheating.
What do you mean?
Like if you're growing in different directions and you're not coming together constantly, regrouping, then that's probably why people cheat.
Yeah.
Stray, why people stray.
Oh, yeah, stray. And it's, that there's so many different reasons. And what I've come to realize is when everybody wants something from somebody, I say that all the time. I don't care whether it's love, I don't care whether it's sex, I don't care whether it's money, I don't care whether it's values. They want something. And so sometimes when they're arguing, straying, they're seeking something, but they don't know how to communicate it. So they're doing other ways to get it, whether it's through anger, whether it's through cheating, whether it's through whatever. But that's not really what the core of the problem is. So people have to learn how to
communicate,
or even understand. We talked about a couple of weeks ago feelings and how to say she had the feelings wheel and how to use other words to communicate. But a lot of people, number one, haven't learned how to do it, wasn't taught how to do it, is not vulnerable enough to do it. And so when we can learn how to communicate and really, but again, and I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit, is if I'm coming to you to tell you how I truly feel, like I'm feeling a little bit of abandoned or I just want some love, whatever it is, and you don't make me feel like you don't have a safe space for me to tell you that, or you ridicule it or whatever, I'm not going to feel that open to tell you how I truly feel. So now I'm going to argue with you because the dishes are in the sink, but I don't really give a damn about the dishes. I just want you to take me upstairs and, okay, I digress.
Well, wait a minute.
Upstairs.
Well, you onto something.
No,
You
but
definitely onto
people
something.
don't really know how to express. They don't know how to communicate.
Say, let's go have sex in the bedroom.
Right.
I'm just
using that as an
just
example,
joking.
but it could be something else,
Okay.
like I feel disrespected because of the way you spoke to me, but I don't know how to articulate that or communicate that. So I'm arguing with you why the garbage is filled to the rim.
Right, about stuff that really has nothing to do with nothing.
Right. We divert.
And people have a lot of fear because to open up yourself, it's really very interesting, right? I think I did share in our initial meeting when I first came on about trust. Remember I shared that story about trust, how I didn't trust men and I had to work through that trauma. And I realized that when I fell in love with my husband, because I'm sitting in the car with him driving crazy and I'm about to go nuts and get anxious, when prior to him, I'd hop in the car with anybody to go to Atlantic City and they could drive like a fool, right? Yeah. But when it was coming down to that commitment, I was like, wait a minute now. So I think people are afraid to be vulnerable.
Right.
But if this is someone you want to be in a long-term relationship with and you are afraid to be vulnerable, that is a red flag. I don't know if it's a red flag because your partner don't want you to be vulnerable. I don't know if it's a red flag because you can't be vulnerable. But just let's take a minute to think about it, listeners and guests. Let's take a minute to think about it. If this is a person you think that you want to spend all your time with, have, people throw these elaborate weddings that could run up to $250,000 easy.
The wedding lasts longer than the marriage.
Right. And you can't be vulnerable with that person and say, well, I'm afraid, or I didn't like that you did this, or your behavior this
when
way.
I saw you doing
doing this.
Right.
Because that's problematic.
Right. Because jealous really is not a bad emotion. It is if it's damaging, if it's toxic to the relationship. But being jealous is a human emotion.
That's a human emotion.
Yeah.
But no emotion is bad. Remember we talked about this. No emotion is bad. It's the action after the feeling.
Right. That's true.
You can have the feeling is what you do with the feeling, right? So if you jealous and then you going out and gossiping about somebody or trying to tear them down, then that's problematic.
Jealous,
but
and
if
now
you
you're cheating.
Right. And you can say, well, dang, that's something I'm jealous, but maybe I could take a page out that book, or maybe I could feel encouraged from that and I could speak through it. Then there's nothing wrong with having that feeling. Remember, your feelings are designed to tell you something that you're feeling is a warning to tell you something about yourself as well.
Right. You always say that, Britt.
Yeah, I'm telling you. And that's why we always have to check in with our bodies. And I'm going to go back to dating. Even with dating, I'll never forget, I went on a date, I don't know, this was some years ago. And I always when I go on dates, they're always coffee dates because I don't want to be around anybody that I don't know for too long.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on a coffee date, and the gentleman was meeting me at this nice restaurant, coffee house,
Mm-hmm.
but he was late, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at my watch, and I said, wow. And then he didn't, have the decency to text me to tell me I'm running late.
Mm-hmm.
So about 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I texted
Red
him,
flag right away?
So I said, he said, I'm sorry, I got stuck in traffic. I'll be there in a minute. I said, okay. He comes to the rest. He gets out his car and all. He's, oh my God, you're so beautiful. Thank you. So we go in a restaurant, and he was very attentive. What do you want? Order what you want. And then I said to him, I can't really stay long because I have another engagement afterwards. But as we're sitting at the table, he comes in my personal space. That bothered me to no ends because I don't know you. Why are you in? I mean, he
Like
was
boundaries.
I had to move back. I said, hi, you're a little close. And he said, oh, okay, no problem. So now I'm getting a little bit, my body's not feeling right. The energy around me now is starting to feel a little bit down, which I'm usually not. So after we finished the tea, he said, I said, okay, I do have to go. I have another engagement. So he says, okay, and we walk, and now he's walking me to my car. And he was like, you want to walk around for a little bit? I said, now he ain't even respected what I'm saying. I said, like, dude, so these are all like all the red flags I'm seeing, and then my body's telling me something.
Okay.
And I knew unequivocally that
he wasn't your person.
I got to get out.
Okay.
So,
But listen, I love dating shows. You guys like dating shows, Natasha?
Yes. We went with the dating show.
Guess who having a dating show?
Who? Us.
S.I.T podcast. So we're looking for contestants for the dating show.
Yes.
And so this way they can have coffee and we can pay for it and they can get to know each other, right?
Yeah.
So those different levels. So this will be their first level of the date.
Right.
So how do they get in touch with us?
So they can email the S.I.T podcast. The email is sitpodcast1@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
They can certainly call us, 732-902-1252. And when they do, they're going to complete the application.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk a little bit. We're going to talk about their preferences. And we're going to put them on the show if everything works
I'm
out.
excited. I love
Absolutely.
the see dating and stuff like
Me
that. Dating is
too.
so much fun.
Me too.
Well, thanks for sharing the flyer.
Okay, so core values, morals, principles, and communication. Big deals for dating. But I want to switch gears a little bit. Tasha, if you don't mind, because I know the time goes by real fast.
The time's going by so fast.
Facebook family, YouTube family, how we doing? Any questions, any comments?
Yes.
Any
Don't forget about
concerns?
Voting for the New Jersey governor is tomorrow. I did vote. I vote for Ras Baraka.
Shantae
So
said he
can
thought
say
I
it.
was like all the others. Yeah, no, we're not doing, not wasting no more of my time.
But voting is definitely tomorrow. So make sure you go out and vote. Oh, and tonight is the BET Awards. And then after that, this Divorced Sisters comes on.
Oh, you like that, huh?
Well, Michelle, you know what I think? Michelle,
That's
I think
nice.
they're just going to show a preview of it tomorrow.
Yeah, on
or
June
actually
10th.
premiere.
On June 10th is BET Plus.
Yeah,
it comes on BET
it
Plus.
premieres.
But we
Yeah,
got to
right,
remember
yeah.
to vote. We have
Yes.
vote for governor,
Right,
New
go for
Jersey.
it. Tomorrow is the day, June 10th, 2025.
Ooh, this is going to be interesting.
where am I?
Go.
Is this a special election, mind you?
Yes,
Is what-
Phil Murphy. He
Our
did
governor.
all his
term.
term is up. So we have to pick a
Okay,
new
got
one.
it.
Yeah, and hopefully, people not vacationing and did forget, or hopefully they're here.
Right,
But
right.
it's
Oh,
tomorrow.
Pookie said, watch The Straw on Netflix. Is that a good one?
Oh, I saw it.
Was it good?
Girl, I cried.
What?
It was good.
Oh, wow.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. It's like the last straw. That's what it is.
Really?
Yeah. You gotta watch it. Tyler Perry, another Tyler Perry hit.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
Is that the one with
Taraji, Sherry Shepherd, and
Okay, it's
Tiana
called what?
Taylor.
The Straw?
Just straw.
Graham
Okay, I'll
said-
watch it.
Tasha, Graham said dating doesn't stop when you get married or in a steady relationship. That's when you keep the same pattern that you got when you two were together. When you two got together.
Absolutely.
I think that's
you got
important,
date
right?
nights.
Absolutely.
That's right.
That's a
Yes, you
good
got
point.
date nights. Yep, the sexy vacations you go on still. We don't
Yes,
always
the
take the kids
lingerie.
and
Yeah.
or if you take the
Everything.
kids, take grandma with you so y'all can have a
Yes,
day away and let us
yes,
be stuck with the
yes,
kids
Yep.
on a
yes. We have to
vacation. You do
continue.
date night and yeah,
Yes.
absolutely,
And we're gonna
absolutely.
drill more into that as we get on into this
Month
month
of
for
June for
relationships.
relationships.
Yep.
Yeah, we got a lot to cover. Are we gonna do the dating
We're
game
gonna
or
yeah,
the
we're
gating?
7:30, so we're gonna
Yeah.
jump right into. We gotta. Michelle said vote, vote, vote. Right, Shelly? It's Shelly girl.
Yes.
We gotta vote, vote, vote.
Yes.
All right, so guys, YouTube family, Facebook family, we got a game called Continue to Date or Not. So we need your help.
Yes.
We need your help out there because we have 2
We're gonna
married
tally
women.
up the votes.
We got 2 married women on the panel, and we have 1 single woman on the panel. So I need your help. Continue to date or not. Ready?
All right.
Yes.
First
yes.
one we're gonna
So
jump
we
into
talk
is
about
money. Go ahead. Go
what
ahead.
we're
Natasha
going to
gonna
take
do the
what
questions.
one
We're gonna do the
question
answers.
from each topic and wrap back around and just in lieu of
Okay,
time.
okay. So we have
Yup,
time.
you
right.
got you hey, Facebook
So-
family. You
Oh,
listening?
you gotta
Wait.
participate.
Wait,
Facebook,
Facebook family, y'all
you guys
listening?
gotta play. You gotta put your answers in the comments.
Put your answers in the comments.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm a
we
So
don't
we're
have
gonna
nobody
play
chatting
together.
on.
Yeah.
Right, we don't have nobody chatting on YouTube, but they're up here.
Okay,
So we
okay.
hopefully you
The
guys
YouTube
can go to
family
the
can
chat
go
and put your
in too, 'cause
answers
I
in as
think-
well.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We ready.
Okay.
She ready.
So I'm going to be asking the question.
Yes.
Tasha,
So,
go easy.
Sabrina and the Golden Link.
Oh.
This is under the ideal of money and finances as you're dating. Remember, this is to continue to date or not. So you are out at a restaurant, if you have been dating, and one party insists on splitting the bill 50-50, even though they earn 5 times more than you. Do you continue to date or not?
Wait. Let's see what you say, Facebook family.
what
Wait,
they
do I
say?
continue to date? Tasha, read that question one more time.
Sure, you are out dating,
I
you've
got
been
my
dating this person, and one of the parties, they insist on splitting the bill 50-50, even though they earn 5 times more than you. Do
But
you
wait.
continue to date or not?
Wait,
what Facebook
wait. Did we
saying?
have the question? Wait, did we discuss it before we went to the restaurant?
Oh,
No. There's 2 caveats here, right? Because we talk about the party who's insisting on splitting the bill makes the most money.
I got my answer. Ready?
Okay, I'm going.
What about the people?
Okay, wait. I got a yes. Oh God. May said no. Poogie said no. Graham said yes.
Okay, here we go. Ready?
Grab
1,
the
2,
romantic card.
3. Ready, Britt?
Okay.
Oh, you can't see.
Wait, you're backward. Oh, wait, you want to continue dating Sabrina too?
Oh no,
I
no,
thought you said
I'm sorry. I said not.
Right, yeah, I saw yours first.
I said not.
I'll
And Michelle said continue dating.
I'll
So
get
Michelle,
the money later. I just won't have it for that date. That's all. Oh.
Oh, okay. All right. And Sabrina, what you said not. What's your logic behind that?
I said it's 2 married women on the panel, 1 single one.
No.
Okay, wait a minute.
Go ahead.
We didn't discuss it before
We don't
the
have
rest.
to discuss it. We discuss it now.
We get to the restaurant, you gonna tell me I gotta pay half?
So then you say no. So
Okay,
then
no.
that's it. On to the next question.
Wait, Michelle. I think this is people want to know it. This is interesting.
Okay.
People want to know
people
why
wanna
she
know.
said
Okay.
not.
Oh, why you
and
say
so
not.
you gave a good answer, Michelle, because
Oh.
you said you in your mind you figured
You got
you get the
money?
money later. They earn
Graham
5
said
times
that's
more.
a
You
test.
take the
You
L
want to
now.
make sure they're not interested in your money.
Oh.
But I would have my own money
But why did you say no?
because I feel like we should discuss it first. Don't wait till we get to a restaurant and tell me I gotta pay half.
Oh, cause see, okay, let's talk about it. Cause I think women, I don't know, I could be wrong.
care
Assume
about their money.
I think they assume that when they go on a date, the male has to pay for it.
Maybe or
Right?
see, I think
I
to
think you
me,
guys
Tasha, it
agree,
just
right?
a lot goes before that. Is it the first date? Or
But you're expecting your first date to pay.
right.
Okay.
Or am I used to him paying all the time? And
Right.
then he say, I want you to pay half. I don't mind paying for a date. I'm not
thought
saying
that
I
was
won't.
against your rules.
If I'm dating somebody and they've been paying and paying, I don't mind paying for
Oh,
my
but just
date.
not the
I'm
first date.
I don't care
But
about
not the
their
first
money.
date.
Oh no,
right?
not
You
the
said
first
you
date.
don't like that on the
I
first
guess
date.
that.
Well, let me just play devil's
what about
advocate
you,
because there's 3
Natasha?
women up here.
Okay.
And what if it's the woman who's making 5 times more and she insists on splitting it 50-50? What do you think a male will respond?
Okay, men. We have men watching. Let them respond.
That's a good question.
Now, so this, I
think it
brought
should
that
be
up.
some
This
more in
is
the
going to be
background, though.
this is going to be TBD, to be continued to be discussed, because I believe that a male would be ego bruised, because even though the woman probably make more money than him, a male would want to probably pay for the date fully.
Correct. Right.
So there's two. That's why I said there's a caveat here, because you're talking about splitting the bill, and then you're talking about the earning potential. So that's something we hopefully we could get some feedback on later on the month when we talk about leaning into masculine and feminine energy. So
And
you, at least
finances,
in
right?
my dating experience, and I have dated, even though I've been with my husband for a very long time, I was in those streets before him.
Right.
And I have never had to pay a bill, because most of the men I dated are men, and they want to take the lady out and treat her like a lady. So there's the masculine energy. And I know some of them rub two pennies together. My high school boyfriend would bring me Baskin Robbins banana splits every time he visited me at the house. I know that boy ain't had no money, but he knew I like ice cream.
Oh,
Right.
So
that's
I
sweet.
think there's something in there. Now, I can't speak for men because I'm not a man, but I have been with a man, and I just will also say, when my husband go out and we could be at a table, if we only go out with friends, because we both are too therapeutic. We ain't got time for toxic people. So whoever we going out to dinner with, whether it's family or friends, whatever, if it's a big group, everybody in the group, at least in my family, everybody know all the men pulling out their cards, taking care of the table. If my husband's just out with me and my girlfriends, generally what he is, he's covering the whole bill, no questions asked. And I know that already. So
Right.
obviously I only bring women around that I let him, he could pay for, right? But again, I said we don't have no time for no messy people in our lives.
Right.
So it just all depends on the framework of how you
Right.
identify your role. So I think that's again a TBD. We could get into that later on in the month around that. That was a good one.
Right.
But we all got different perspectives.
And I think too, for me, if it was a marriage, that'd be different, right? Because obviously I'm not leaving. We're going to have to work that out. We'll talk about it. Like, I'll
Right.
pay it if that's what you really want. I don't have a problem with it. But let's talk about it. I'll pay the whole bill, but don't spring it at the restaurant with me when you've always been paying, and now you say, okay, you got to pay half the bill. To me, I'm going to think something's wrong. But I feel like
Right.
that's something we should talk about in a marriage. That's not I wouldn't just say, oh God, I'm paying half the bill. I'm divorcing him or I'm leaving him, whatever.
Right.
But in the early stage of, if we went on a date for the first day and he said I got to pay half, well, I'm gonna pay my half, but thank you for the date and say la vie.
You won't be seeing me again.
Right.
Well, what about if the woman makes the most money and the man doesn't? Like, then what? He never pays. Like, she always pays because she makes.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Well, that's what I was just saying too, but because there's going to be men who will probably allow that, but at least most men I know,
Won't
they're not
allow
going to
it.
want to do that because they want to have their stance here, and if they taking you out on a date, they want to pay the date, and I've had that happen.
Right.
And well, I talked to women about that because I talked to a lot of women and a lot of men who are C-suite executives at top companies, and they making hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I actually had this conversation with a woman. The man pulled out the card to pay. She know he makes more money than her, and she gonna say she paying half, and he look at her like she crazy. That's what she told me. And
That's
he shook his
trauma,
head.
though. That's her not
Wow.
being able to receive.
Yes, so that's what I
feminine
said.
is
There's
to
so many
receive.
things
Yeah.
coming behind it.
That's a
So-
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
It could be a lot of scenarios. Yeah.
Tasha,
Yeah,
that was a good
that's
one.
why I picked
Yeah,
the
that was a
question.
good
'cause
one. That was a good
Graham,
one.
Yes,
you had
it
me
was.
thrown off. Graham. And we
All
gonna talk
right,
about
so
that
we're going to
situation.
now moving next to
Oh,
trust
next
and
question.
loyalty.
Trust
Trust
and
and
loyalty.
loyalty.
Okay.
You are dating someone and you catch them flirting with strangers on a fake Instagram account. Continue to date or not?
Your thing is up.
Yeah, she said not. Michelle, you want to date the person who got a fake Instagram account and they talking to strangers?
That means he
Well-
has no respect for you, women, or nobody else. And you know.
Come
what
on,
you're
Michelle.
looking
Why
forward
would you
to.
continue to date somebody who's doing that secretly and they talking to strangers, flirting?
Well,
Oh my God, Tasha, we got work to do.
Yes.
She's so funny. Graham
Oh,
said no. Pookie
Okay.
said end it and run.
Right.
Michelle, the only one still dating him. Like, call me later when you finish chatting.
Yes. Well, we got the woman. Wait, the woman C done made a statement and said yes. But tell me a little bit more about that on the chat.
Okay.
Woman C.
Let's see what they say on the chat.
Yes, the woman C said yes.
Because I best believe my
know what that
husband
was
better not
yes
have no
was too.
fake Instagram
Right.
account.
Right.
But see, I'm married,
To
so
my
I was
big
thinking.
daddy.
I was thinking about dating terms, not married.
Well, you dated before you got married, Michelle. I dated
I was
before I got
12.
married. I'm not going to continue to date somebody who got a fake Insta. Shit, if my husband, excuse
Right.
me, if my
Celebrate
husband
kick to
had
the
a fake
curb.
Instagram account and he talking to strangers, we're gonna have some serious
Right.
problems.
Graham says that
may
means
be-
you're fake and you're lying. And you're what are you hiding for?
Right.
You're
Right.
hiding,
Right.
which speaks to your
Okay.
character.
Okay. Look.
Okay.
Oh Lord. She said
It
okay.
took some convincing. Okay.
She still ain't convinced, but she said okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep my good
Oh,
man.
this is a good one.
She said I'm gonna keep my
we
good
gonna
man.
go Come on, girls, keep it
Okay,
together
let's
now.
be
We got
serious.
timing,
Let's
right?
be serious.
So
Okay.
we going on
All right.
to intimacy and sex.
Okay. Let's
So
see.
you are dating someone and they say they are no longer physically attracted to you, but they still love you. Do you continue to date or not?
Ooh, I would definitely not be dating.
Oh, no, not. And Sabrina continue to date. All right, so wait, before we go there, the woman's seed is Lenora, and that's our cousin, that's our booby.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And she said yes,
Ooh,
that she
no.
would
I
continue to
wouldn't.
date if they had fake Instagram account. She would
Oh,
continue to
why?
date them.
Why would she do that?
Or the woman C, tell us why. When you type it up, we'll answer that back. But Sabrina, so you will stay with someone who say they no longer physically attracted
Oh
to you,
no,
but they
I'm sorry.
love
I didn't,
you?
I'm sorry.
She just
no.
meant having sex.
Oh,
If they
that's
don't
yeah, because
want-
you
no,
said
no,
continue
no.
dating.
No,
and
no,
Michelle,
no.
you said no too. Michelle said not
Oh,
to.
yeah, I'm sorry,
Okay,
no.
got
No, I'm out.
So then I'm gonna stay with intimacy and sex. So maybe
Oh,
this
Jesus.
explains why you both said that.
Okay.
So then you are dating and you have not had sex in over a year with the person you're dating, and y'all avoid talking about it. Do you continue to date or not?
Sabrina, you know you'll
No.
continue.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so we got the woman C saying no
Let's
to
get on.
the everybody said no,
Oh,
and then
she
Rachel
changed her
said no
mind
way.
about the Instagram.
No, she
Right.
ain't say nothing about the Instagram yet, but she said no. Everybody said no about that physical attraction.
That's right.
And
Yeah, no,
what they
no.
love.
No.
So can I talk
Look,
about
I'ma
that
need
for a
all
little
of
while?
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right.
all of it. All
But
of it.
let's talk about that for a little while
Yeah.
because I don't know, as people may not remember or know, but I'm a family trained therapist, so I've been doing family therapy my entire career, which includes mostly couples and
Right.
families. And you will be surprised how huge sexual intimacy is and how people come together and they're not aligned with that and cause serious problems in relationships.
Right.
And what we know beyond just the physicality of how we have sex and what it does to our body, when you are in love with someone and you're in a committed relationship, you are sharing intimacy, you are sharing a bond and being vulnerable with the person and the way that you don't do often with that. So if a relationship goes a long time without sex, there are going to be problems because
Right.
there's, again, just like if you're not
Cheating.
communicating,
You're not
when you
connecting.
grow,
You're not
Yeah.
connecting.
you're not connected. But Michelle, they don't have to be cheating because
I know. I'm
sometimes
just
it's
saying, if they
reason.
want to, if their partner's not giving them sex, they might look to somebody else for it.
Right. Right.
That's
They
cheating.
may or they may not. They may think about it, but what if they don't? There's still something missing because
Right,
the
right.
body has receptors. We need touch.
The
We need
endorphins,
hug.
You need
right?
the physical touch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
In fact, that's some people's love language.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the woman C corrected us. She said yes to staying with the splitting the bill and no to the question around the Instagram.
Oh, okay. Got you.
Okay.
All
And then
right.
she's
So
now
everybody
saying
was
no
not with the
to
Instagram.
the sex question as well.
Okay.
So we
All
got
right.
Okay.
it. We got it straight.
Thank you.
Okay. All righty. So, did anybody want to say anything more about that? We could move on to values and personality.
Okay, move on to values
Move on
and
to
personality.
values and personality.
Okay, so you are dating someone and you guys have been dating and y'all rocking and popping for a while, but they make fun of your dreams or belittle your job and your profession in front of others. Do you continue to date or not?
Pick
Sabrina's
rocks
very
with open
no.
toe shoes on.
Look.
Michelle, you want to continue to date somebody who belittles you? Michelle, you ain't taking this serious. I can't with you.
Well, basically, I already would know what my worth is and what I want. So if they say what they say, they say what they say. That's their business.
But why would you want to be with somebody who would say
does
that?
Because
This is gonna say probably because of the sex. So, no, I'm just joking.
Oh, okay.
she said because the sex is good. It's kids on there.
Okay,
Oh,
now.
I'm sorry,
No.
kids watching.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, look, she got her values lined up someplace else. Okay, now let's stay tuned.
May said not. Michelle said they lost their minds. It'll always be attractive. I know that's right,
All right.
Shelly Shell.
All right.
All right, go ahead, Tom.
Go ahead. Next.
Okay, so now we're going on to family and parenting.
I'm over
Oh
here
boy,
sweating.
this is a big one. This probably happens a lot, and we should talk about this. So you are dating someone, and their family constantly disrespects you, and your partner never speak up for you or set a boundary. Do you continue to date or not? Okay, you both agreed to that one. So it don't matter how good the sex is, Michelle. You ain't letting the family be mean to you, huh? I get it. I get
Could
it.
kick rocks. Nope. No joking.
With open toe shoes
Okay.
during the Thanksgiving Day parade.
No.
Yeah, no.
No, but these answers is just for fun. It's not like
Yeah, this is for fun. We want to do something fun.
Yeah.
So the woman seed is saying no to all the questions.
Thank
She's
you,
like,
woman
nope,
seed.
nope,
Thank
no. The woman seed, are you in a relationship, Lenora? Are you dating someone now?
Does she need to come on the dating show here at Sit Podcast?
Michelle said,
Right,
hell
she's
no.
not dating anyone.
Oh,
So this is
send
light
in our
and funny, but
application.
right, this is light and funny, but still revealing.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
You are dating someone and could be an annoyance to you. They clap loudly every time the plan lands with zero shame. Do you continue to date or not?
Say that one more time.
I say continue.
So you are dating someone and they clap loudly every time the plane lands with zero shame, but that's obviously an annoyance for you. Do you continue to date them or not?
That means he happy we safe.
Let him have his
Right.
moment.
Okay, good.
Yeah, let
And no, that one is
Well,
good
who
because
say
that
not?
shows
Who
you.
say not though? Who say not?
I hope it becomes
Nobody said
infectious
no.
and I start
Oh, nobody
clapping
said no.
too.
Yeah, nobody said no.
That's being
what-
grateful.
I know we be thankful.
being grateful.
Right, that's thankful.
But you know, the bigger picture, that's a question that kind of looks at when you're dating people, what's negotiable and what's not negotiable.
Right.
What's the little annoyances that maybe your annoyances, maybe you don't like all that attention coming to you. Maybe the woman sees says no to that too. She's like,
She
she
said if he clap, I'm done.
you still ain't tell us if you're dating somebody now or not. But
basically,
you know,
I think you should let the person be the person. Right? If
right,
they
recognizing that there's
I
little
think you
things
should
that
have
you
some
may not like.
respect. Isn't
Right.
that having respect for the other person? Let them have their moments.
Right. And I think
so.
the other thing is
Because I'd
not,
probably be clapping. My husband would probably be like, oh
and
my
not,
God.
put too many expectations on them,
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
unrealistic ones. So what they clapping? That means they
Right,
happy we're
right.
safe.
Yeah.
Right, and then I think again behind that question is the deeper issue that there are going to be little annoyances that people have with each other, and that you learn to love your partner for it because it's just who they are and part of their personality.
Right. So I guess
Snoring,
at some point,
snoring, passing
one
gas,
things is not,
burping.
some things is just not negotiable, right?
No, there are some things
Right,
that
right.
are
Some things are not negotiable, and we talk about boundaries and
Like
the negotiable.
the secret Instagram. Or what is it? What was it called?
Right. The fake Instagram page.
Yeah.
But the non-negotiables are not preferences. They're boundaries that protect your peace, your growth, and your dignity. So when you have a non-negotiable and you know what they are, it makes the negotiables a little bit more easier because the non-negotiables disrupt you. So like again, like you said, maybe having that secret life with the fake Instagram page, or again, not having sex. And the other caveat of that question is also not willing to talk about why we're not having sex.
Right.
So
Because
bottom
that's
line,
again two different elements. You withholding something, but then you don't want to communicate. That's a recipe for disaster. That's like gasoline and fire coming together.
Right.
right. So it sounds like in relationships, the bottom line is communication. Because you can tell your partner.
Communication
if
is the
it's
big part of
Yeah.
it. And there's different levels of communication and how we communicate, because we communicate verbally and we communicate non-verbally when we're in relationships, right? I spend a lot of time talking with couples about non-verbal communication because I have people who get triggered when their partner sigh or throw their hands up or roll their eyes or turn their back on them. So I think we need to look at how we communicate all around, whether it's verbal, with our body, with our actions, with our facial expressions.
That's a
And,
big one because
you
if
know,
somebody's twisting up their mouth in disdain, you know that they don't like you. So, like
Right.
you said, verbal and non-verbal cues.
it's
are
very important. It's
Yeah.
very important. And there's a lot of people who have nonverbal communication that's been passed down to them.
Yep.
So if they are doing it, most likely that's what they observe people doing to them.
Yeah, we
Right.
have to talk about that on one of the shows
Yeah.
to change, like how we have to break, things
Right.
that have been.
Even when it comes to communication,
Yeah.
right? My mom was notorious for if she was mad, she would shut down, and I found myself doing that, shutting down, and I had to push my way through. No, we're gonna talk about this. She would
Right.
shut down in a minute. She'd be like, and be like, oof. So like you said, breaking those patterns and doing something different.
Right.
Well, it looks like the show is almost over. We
Can
have
you
any more
imagine
comments?
this?
I'm so
Oh my
happy
God.
to be
Any
back
more
with you
comments?
guys.
We got 5 minutes.
Yes, and I just want to say thank you to Natasha for holding it down with Brit Brat. I call Sabrina Brit Brat, guys. But thank you so much. You guys did an amazing job. I'm so proud of you guys. And thank you for giving me that moment and that time. I really appreciate the love. And again, my sincere condolences to your family. I know Sabrina brother has transitioned, which we all are going to do. And I'm just so happy that you guys were here,
Oh,
you know,
thank you.
and you embraced me and you continue to show me love and continue to let me be part of your family.
So who you co-hosting with next month? I'm coming.
Natasha. Look, Natasha.
Look at So look, before we do the closing, before you guys recap, Michelle,
Sure.
tell us, pick up your friend's book again, because I
Oh.
would like to purchase that.
Oh,
What's
yes,
the name
yes.
of it?
Yes, Kristen Fields. It just came out. It's hot off the press, guys. And so I'm going to do a 90-day challenge for myself, to continue with my mental health journey, mental health and wealth journey. So that's what I'm on.
Right.
So I'm so thankful. So I'm going to start it. I started it back
But
today, actually.
what's the name of the
is
book,
called-
Michelle?
I know. I'm sorry, Natasha. You know how I am.
The journal.
The Habit Building Journal, 90
Oh.
Days Self-Guided
Can you turn it around so they can
Transformation
see it? I'll put it
by
on camera.
Kristen Fields. Can you see
Okay.
it?
Wait, let me see. Can you see it?
I'm gonna type it in.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kristen, Rachel D. Yes, and I'm gonna type it in so other people can see it too.
Congratulations. Let's
We're
give her
supporting
a
you.
hand clap for all of us.
That's right. That's
The
right,
Habit
that's
Building
right.
Journal, 90 Days Self-Guided Transformation. All righty.
Okay.
Girls, it's been fun.
It has been fun.
I have so much fun. I'm so happy I'm back in the building. Norm came in without my roses, but he did give us a pass. What's the pass for?
This
What's
is
the pass
Norman.
for? Norman, hey.
Come say,
Woman is right there.
Norman,
Hey,
come say hi.
Come
We're
say
gonna
hi.
pass.
Come tell us about the pass. Come on, Norman.
We got
Show us some
Norman
love. We got
is
Norman.
the manager of the
Come on,
BKS1
Norman.
radio.
Come on, Norman.
We love you,
Come
Norman.
on, Norman. We love you. Guys, we're on BKS1 radio with Norman.
Get me to talk now. You got the
Come say hi, Norman.
Come on,
to the
come
camera
on
real
to the
quick.
camera. Come on.
Come show us some
Norman,
love.
Norman gave us some passes. Go ahead, Norman. Show us some love. Talk
I'll
about
just
the
say
pass.
hi. How y'all doing?
Talk
Hi,
about the
Norman.
pass,
Come
Norman.
here.
Hi, Norman.
Talk about
How
the
y'all
pass.
doing?
Hi,
Come on.
Norman.
What's
Talk
going
about
on
the
with this?
pass.
What's going on,
He
Norman?
just gave
He
us
just gave us a
backstage
pass.
passes.
Yeah, what's going on, Norman?
All right, so this is going down. I'm gonna talk off camera.
Okay.
All right, so it's going down July 4th in the city of Plainfield, tri-state area. Check this out. The official 4th of July City of Plainfield America in Color concert.
Woo!
It's going down, hosted by none other than radio personality and recording artist Miss Jones of
Red Alert
94.7
is
The
on
Block.
the air.
Yes, in Pix 11. Also, headlining is going to be none other than the Jones Girls.
What?
Shirley Jones, you know, You Gonna Make Me Love Somebody Else. And who can I run
Treat me
to?
that way. You hear that, honey?
Who can I run to? Nights Over Egypt.
Oh my God.
Dance Turned Into a Romance. She's doing they doing all the hits. Doing all the hits. And then if you love reggae, if you love dancehall, the legendary DJ Bobby Condors will be in the building. And then we have two amazing bands. The awesome Latin salsa band Swing Combo is going to tear it up. And then we got an amazing R&B band. It's the Impact Band. And then house music sensation Kamara Lovelace is going to be doing When Will Our Love Begin? Y'all know it. Y'all know it. And also her other hit, Circles, Going Around and Circles. So it's going to be an awesome day. And guess who's going to be on the ones and twos, rocking out, doing a crazy, crazy set, DJ set. Yours truly, DJ Storm Norton, the General. But come on out. And yes, straight from the Tamarind Hall show, we also got the 40-plus Double Dutch Club.
Oh, that's going to be nice.
Oh,
Yes,
right.
yes.
And we have backstage passes.
Yes,
and
we
then line dancing with the queen of line dancing, Miss Crystal Ballum, will be in the building.
Yes, thank you so much for that,
Well, look, Norman, there's a third host here. I don't got no passes.
Tasha said she don't have a pass.
Tasha said she want her pass.
Tasha, you need a pass?
This month, huh?
Yes, I do. I'm the third host here.
I got you.
Okay, got it.
Tasha, you in there. Thank you so much,
Thanks for
ladies and
welcoming
gentlemen.
back, Norm.
This
Yes,
was an
yes.
amazing night.
Yes, this was fun.
Natasha, learn to come in the building. Stop being Hollywood. And
She in Hollywood.
I'm gonna come. I'll be in the building. I'll come in the building before July 4th. I promise.
Good.
Yeah.
And so we want to leave you with the right love will never require you to abandon yourself to keep them. Keep showing up as the whole version of yourself, because the more authentic you are, the more aligned love will be. And with that being said, good night. We love you until next Monday.
Thanks for tuning
S.I.T
in.
Podcast.
We've been strong